Alright guys, hello. Today we are test driving a Toyota GT4 JDM. So this car is only 1400 kilograms and it produces 250 horsepower. This one is, I believe, the third generation 3S GT, not the second generation, which is slightly slower. And man, this car handles great. Feels like a Subaru WRX and also in Lancer Evolution. The car feels very analog. There's not much electronics to it. There's a lot of unique things on this Celica compared to the non-turbo ones. It's the main stuff you absolutely like. It's the high-rise spoiler, which reminds me a lot of nowadays Type Rs or nowadays Subaru WRX STIs. Everyone has high-rise spoiler to show how much horsepower we have. But this thing is so powerful, and it's only a 1997. So it was very powerful for back in the days, this car. And the styling and everything is very rally feel to it. The four huge headlights means business, you know. The huge bumper to accommodate more cooling to it. Man, this thing is fun. So the styling on this car is very simple. It's round shaped, just like the Toyota Supra. Even the interior, okay, it's very driver's oriented. As you can see, the cluster, the gauge, the dashboard, everything is very well oriented, just like the Supra. So that's why they call it the Celica is the baby Supra. And remember, back in the 80s, they used to call it Celica Supra, and then they ended up dividing the names. So we have a 3S GT, 250 horsepower engine, 5-speed transmission. It is not the R transmission, but the E154. It's a very easy car to learn to drive. It only took me 5 minutes if you're used to driving manual transmission to get used to the clutch and the transmission itself. Even though it was left-hand drive, I was still able to how do you say it, to get used to it. Oh man, the suspensions are stiff on this thing. I believe it's on stock suspensions, but it's slightly lowered. But still, the handling and when it takes bumps and those cracks, it's still, you know, quite comfortable. It's not coilover stiffness. It's fine, you know. It's you won't complain about the comfort. Road is opening for us. Third gear, smash it. Woohoo! You don't get the instant powerful torque, but you do get the power, and it feels great. So the red line is 7,000 RPM, just like the Civic Type R. And I guess it makes use of all the bandwidth available and required, so you don't have to shift it like a crazy guy, just like the VTEC engines. So far so good. This car is a very analog car. Reminds you of how they used to rally, how they used to make the cars in the 90s, and especially the turbo ones. It gives you a lot of these feelings. I really like this kind of car because it reminds you of how cars, especially how Japanese cars used to be back in the 90s. Everyone was competing, doing the technology stuff. I like how simple the cluster layout is. I have a boost gauge, I believe. Yeah, that's a boost gauge. Simple design, small steering wheel, even though it's an aftermarket steering wheel. Everything is nicely laid out. So the car is very well equipped. It has a lot of vents. Man, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's one under the passenger side, I believe, as well. And then there's one special one just for you to cool down your nuts. It's right under the steering wheel, okay? That's really crazy. I think it's because if ever you're racing or you're doing rally, you can, you know, cool down your nuts because you're like too stressed out for losing the race or something. Oh man, paper drop. You know, as you would expect from 90s JDM car, the handling is amazing on this thing. The brakes are huge for this car. They are 4 pistons, actually 4 pots front brakes, so basically Brembo brakes. They are exactly the same as the Supra ones that you can find in the MK4s, except it says Celica instead of Supra. The back are one pot, which is great because a lot of cars you get only the front Brembos, but you don't get the rear Brembos. All right, I'm just gonna give this car Yep, power is there. Power is definitely there. So this car is very, very, you feel everything out of it. Even the gears are shifting nicely. The throttles, the steering, it's very nice and direct. It's a also very easy car to drive. As you can see, I'm shifting the gears no problem. I believe I think there's a sharp shifter. I'm not very sure. The steering and the feeling to it is very direct. There's enough power for you to have fun. It's not overpowered either. And it's all-wheel drive too. Okay, here comes a 90-degree angle. Okay, got it. Man, it feels very special driving a car. You own a very modern car, and then suddenly you're driving like a car from the 90s. Like, you can feel the difference and everything, but really, even though the modern cars are better, but it's just lacks of connection between the drivers and the car. This car can provide you connection. So if you're in the market looking for a car, all-wheel drive, turbocharged, decent priced, because these cars are very well priced. They're not very high demand. Not a lot of people would want to buy one versus a RX-7, Skyline GTR, Supra. So this car has not been, artificially or the demand boosted price yet. I think my friend paid in total with importation like $8,500, which is not so bad for a JDM car like this one. All-wheel drive, turbocharged, JDM. Feels comfortable, fully equipped. Even has a ball freezer for you. Okay, is there any cars? Not bad, not bad. Not bad. Pretty fun car. Should be fine. Corners very well. Stops well too. Thank you guys for watching this video. It was a pleasure driving this car. Thank you again. Please subscribe if you like the videos. I'm gonna have much more cars reviews eventually. And have a great day, guys. Bye.